Hello, and welcome to another episode of Geek Dhaba. Today we're going to be reviewing Snowpiercer Season 3. And Snowpiercer, well, is a show about a train. It's the only train left in the world, and everyone's on it. Or are they?
And the best person to do this with is me
Yes.
because I have a long history with Pakistan Railways. And
Yes.
what do I know about bad trains? Okay, so
Your initial thoughts,
um,
please.
my initial thoughts. Mubarak, have you ever done a review on Snowpiercer before season 3?
I don't think so.
Yeah, we haven't. So I'm just like gonna generalize my point about Snowpiercer. Snowpiercer, uh, you know the book, right? I'm not gonna go too deep into it. There's a book. That's what Snowpiercer's entire thing is based on, all right? And there's a movie on the book as well, like it's with the same name. And my cat just got scared by a firecracker. Um, the book and the movie also, to some degree, Snowpiercer is about showing humanity's, socio-economic class system, the way the poor and the rich and the middle class are basically divided in our modern world. That's how usually these novels go. That's the conversation that goes on through the story. That's what you discover, right? And the movie kind of shows that as well, and so does the season. The TV show, for the first season at least, you get to see there's this long train. I'm talking all the remainder of humanity is now crammed on a single train that keeps circling the globe and all the continents. All right. Um, Everyone in the front of the train, the first class, they are actually called, are the rich, the people who could actually afford first class in trains of old. Like trains even today are divided in classes based on how expensive the tickets are. And back then, the class system was very evident during Victorian times and whatnot, right? Then we have the middle class, which is like the working class. I forgot what they're called in the show, but I think they're called the working class.
Second class, I think. Third. That's probably third. The
Yeah,
working
yes,
class
yes.
is probably third.
There's the first class, then the second class. The second class is kind of like, they're not as the rich as the first class, but they have the decent jobs. And then you have the third
Scientists or
class, which is the working class, all right?
yeah.
We're talking all the low level workers, janitors, all of them, they are third class. Then you have the tail. This is in the TV show. The tail are all the outcasts. These are all the people who forced their way onto the train as it was departing, and um, now they're all treated as outcasts. They were pushed to the very back end of the train and they are treated inhumanely. They are left to survive on scraps that is passed down the train towards them. Um, this is what the actual story of Snowpiercer is about. It's about um, breaking the class system basically and defining the class system as well, like explaining it or whatever, having a conversation about it. That's the theme. The TV show only does this for the first season. For me, that is where you have this tone of how the plot is developing and all of that. That is how it works. After that, season 2 and season 3, this one, mm, that uniqueness is gone.
Yeah.
And when that unique, snippet, that unique conversation is gone, the show, all that's left is a very interesting Netflix thriller. That's the name I'm going to give it. It's like any other sci-fi Netflix thriller you will find out there. Yes, they will all have their interesting theme, but in the end, it's a power play. It's Game of Thrones, the power play, different people vying for power and control of the train, and also making their personal life suffer, and blah blah blah. Same old, same old. There's nothing unique or memorable about the entire show after that. And it gets even the worst it gets is in season 3.
Yeah.
this season was, I'm going to borrow Mubarak's word from before the review, is not memorable. I
Yeah.
mean, nothing in the show is memorable except for maybe the first season and some parts of the second season as well. Um, I guess we can mention that,
Yeah.
when the second train comes and you get introduced to the main villain of Snowpiercer's entire story arc, Wilford. Wilford is a very good villain. I really enjoy him as a villain because he is that old sly fox. He's always got something brewing up, and I guess I find that interesting. But even in season three, Wilford was unable to save season three, even
Yeah.
for me at least. Mubarak, what do you think?
Well, I think this show, to be quite honest, has run out of fuel. Do trains still work on fuel? I don't know. And
Yes, they do, Mubarak. What kind of a question is that?
no, I thought they're
Okay.
they're still in the coal. I don't know. Do they? I think they still use coal.
Coal is a fuel.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, you could have saved that one by saying that there are solar trains because solar is kind of not a fuel. But yeah, okay, your point.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
But yeah, this show started off really, really good. I watched the movie. I loved the movie. The movie was fantastic.
I have to.
It was, oh my God, the movie was different. It was like, wow. And then the show came out, and I was like, I'm going to watch this. I'm going to forget about the movie. I'm going to watch the show as this was intended. This is more closer to the book. I watched the first season. While it was not wow, it was still good. I enjoyed it. Season 2, I enjoyed most of. Season 3, I don't know what happened. I don't know if they've been affected by the pandemic and their script has just gone weird, which is weird because they have a book. Surely there should be some reference material. I don't know what they did this season. There's nothing in this that's memorable. In fact, the only thing I can remember out of this is that one filler episode where they just flipped the script.
Of all the things, that's what you remember? Of all the things?
Because that pissed me off. I'm like, what am I watching? Why?
It definitely did. What you were saying about the movie, I mean, we're not going to go too long into drawing a comparison, but you're right. The movie did one thing which was super amazing. All of the characters and all of the little bit of world building that happened in it was really good. You really got to experience what the book was actually trying to tell you, this socio-economic disparity that exists in humanity being described in the form of a very long train. And that movie was good. The only reason I give the movie a bad pass is because it's only a 1.5 hour movie. It's a very short movie.
Yeah.
And I felt, rightfully so, I believe, that that's a very short time for the amount of information that you're supposed to take in. And that, I mean, the movie doesn't blast you with information. But that's the point. There is so much left undiscovered. And the show actually shows that. The show does that for the entire first season. I was happy with the show. That's why I also started watching the show. I was like, wait a second. Snowpiercer, yeah, I've seen this. I ignored the tile on my Netflix for a couple of weeks before. I was like, why does this say season? And then I realized this is an entire TV show. And I immediately started watching it. Same the story. We come to season 3. The show has lost fuel. It's just not captivating enough. The filler episode, Mubarak, you mentioned, I mean, sure, add that, but what's the takeaway from that? The takeaway from that is just one discovery. That's a 1 hour episode. You could have just a 15-minute blackout. The guy was in a coma. Just wake him up within the same show, and then he goes around telling people, oh my God, this has happened to me. Why did you have to make an entire show of an alternate universe? Like, that just didn't make any sense. And in the end, what do you walk away with is just this one discovery. Oh, I got hit on the head too hard. I'm imagining all of this.
Exactly. And I'm like, bro.
I want to get into another thing. Like, there are a lot of complaints I have about the show, but I'm going to get into the major ones, all right? Picking up from this, what's the illusion? They go out, do some data researching, season 2 end, they're looking for a place to live in the outside world, which is a cold wasteland now. The temperature's too cold. This is spoiler territory, by the way. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't think we've spoiled anything up till there. Yeah, but this is spoiler territory now. In the show, your main character, Layton, discovers a survivor in the outside world. Even I was like, holy shit, this, I was immediately captivated. I was like, this changes things.
Yeah.
Like, this proves Melanie's point that she was trying to make in the previous season, that, hey, we can survive in the outside world. The world is warming up again, finally. And I was like, oh, this is a good take. They actually found a survivor. And then we have this entire, thing going on with Layton trying to, wrap a lie around the train, because people don't really want to get off the train. And to manage those politics, he makes this survivor that he rescued from the outside world lie to the people in the train that she has been to New Eden and it is actually a lush green place and there's no snow anymore. It was like, wow. But then she's also having her own, like, issues. Yeah, she has her own problems. She killed everyone in her survivors group. They were surviving together inside a nuclear reactor's facility and surviving off the radiation given off by the nuclear reactor. But that has its own problems. And in the end, she confesses that she killed everyone else in her group because she was afraid, because of all the, the tussling that goes on in post-apocalyptic situations. She didn't want anything to happen to her nephew. And then tragic thing happens. Her nephew dies from radiation poisoning. All of that was good.
Mm.
But then she dies. Like, she dies in a way that I was dumbfounded with. It didn't make any sense to me. There's some situation that happens on the train, and she gives her life to save the train. Now, I'll be honest, it doesn't make any sense because this is a survivor who has survived all by herself for 30 or so years, right, Mubarak?
10 years.
Or 10 years, I don't know. Like, that's still a lot of time, all by herself. And she is a murderer. She has killed people. She is mentally unstable. She is distraught. And in the end, what? She has this real angelic, like, I don't know what to call it. What happens? Like, does she suddenly develop such a love for this train? People that she is actually very conscious around. She is in the entire scene that she's in the train, she's very fidgety. She's trying to re-assimilate with society inside the train now, and she also has her own issues with the train as well, because she mentions when she meets Wilford, she was unable to get on his train. Well, I remember that dialogue. It was a very good dialogue. Oh, we could have used people like you on our train. Oh, only problem is I couldn't get on your train. I really liked having her as a character, and she was such a good plot hook because Layton was making her lie to people that there is a new Eden out there, even though she knew that there is none. She's just lying, but she has to do that because Layton saved her life. One, and secondly, she wants to re-assimilate with society, but she's having a very hard time processing all of it and making peace with her demons. How does a person like that suddenly have this hero moment and just throw away her life for that? That I just did not understand that. So that one character, which was very interesting for me, at least for a plot perspective, is gone. The rest of the show, which is the next more than half of the show, was just what you're imagining. It was a power play going on, and Layton is still lying, and then suddenly Pike is suspicious of him, and then Pike dies. All of that is uninteresting. I don't understand why any of that is happening. Rant over. I'm sorry.
This show,
this for me was the major complaint. I think that this point forward was where the show I lost interest in it.
Yeah, same.
Because at that point, there were just random situations coming in. Even Melanie being discovered that she is alive and they actually rescue her and all of that. Even that didn't feel good enough
Hmm.
as to recover from that moment, Joe, like what had already happened. I kind of missed that survivor. I would have loved to have her continue as a character. That would have been
Definitely.
very good.
Definitely.
But
This show really
Pakistan,
derailed, you know.
I had
And
we're gonna make so many train jokes in this review.
maybe, maybe not. But here's the thing: my major complaint is not just the entire pacing of the show, which was on and off, but the finale. It was weak. It was not like this. They could have ended it on a really high note, because stuff like if you want the next season, you need to put a cliffhanger of some sort, a good cliffhanger, not just a random one tiny scene like
Nuclear
a
missile going up into the air. What? Out of nowhere.
Oh.
Remember, 3 months later, 3 months have passed on that.
And the train just happens to be there when that's happening. Imagine if the train was on the other side of the world. And that happened. Like, what? There would be no season 4. They're like, season 4, Layton's like, I wonder where the train is. And then the train's like on the other side of the world. Well, I guess we didn't see any nuclear blasts, so we don't need to investigate. Exactly. Like, it's crazy. They really lost potential towards the end. They could have made something really, really epic, big, explosive, derailing, stuff like that. Like, wasted potential. Really
Can
wasted.
I just say something?
Yeah, sure.
Even though I am happy to have her back, Melanie as a character she's a good character. I think bringing her back to life was the thing that derailed the season. Now hear me out.
Yeah.
Melanie came back because she became the plot hook that broke Layton's illusion, and she is the one who goes telling people that Layton is lying to you. There is no hopeful world out there, and even if there is, the journey itself is so perilous. None of us will survive that, and an entire civil war happens. In the end, the thing still happens. Then why did you kill the survivor? Why did she have to die in such a dumb way?
I don't know.
If that survivor, I keep forgetting her name. What was her name again? Anita? What? Like exactly. She was only in the show for a grand total of 2, at most make it 3 episodes, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Probably something like this.
I think that's it. Like, I'm talking from the episode she appears as the survivor outside, and she knocks Layton out, and when he's inside the nuclear reactor just exploring it. From that moment on, it's only 3 episodes in a 10 episode series. Like, that is a short time for a character. That's minor character territory. Also, this is I'm gonna add one more the cherry on top of my rant. All right. This complaint is the one that should put all the other one, like, it is the actual cherry on top. The one death that happens in the show in the final episode, and it just describes this entire show in general. The way the Folger girl dies, LJ, that psychopath redhead.
Exactly. What was that?
The way she died, I was like, okay, I think at this point they are just making shit up and trying to get rid of characters that they don't know what to do with them anymore.
Exactly. Like, what was that? Why?
It was such a stupid death that.
And it's so weird. Like, she's a good side antagonist. Okay, throughout the entire show, and she dies off in the most stupidest way possible. And
that too in literally the last 10 minutes or so of the entire fucking season. She is not even a major antagonist that you are like the entire show just rests upon. You know what's going on? Like, I'm talking to everyone who's watching this review, and also to Mubarak, to remind him, it's that kind of a moment. The season is over, it's the last 10 minutes, and you're just watching this, jab next season aa raha hota hai, and you're watching this, different shots of different characters in their new situations, and you're basically getting settings for the next season. Like, you're getting to see a little teaser of what's going to be happening next season whenever it happens, okay?
Yeah.
It was that moment. Like, it's one scene, Layton is over there, they're checking out New Eden, they actually found New Eden. There's background music playing, and they're showing different characters in their different settings, and then they show LJ, and I'm just like, obviously she's having that emotional breakdown shit because she just broke up with her boyfriend.
Husband.
And another part, her husband who left her, and that's a big thing for her because in her mentally unstable world, nobody loves her for who she is. As a character, she's a very good character, even though she is an antagonist. Like, as a character, I really like her because she is one of that. And the only thing she has left in her world is her dad's eyeball, the fake eyeball he used to wear. And she used to put that in her mouth. That sounds creepy, but that's how she is. She is a psychopath.
Yeah.
And she dies because someone bumps into her and she accidentally swallows it and chokes on it and dies. Like, all of a sudden, I'm like, wait a second, please tell me someone saves her. This can't be her death. Because if this is her death, this is the stupidest death I have seen in any TV show in the past month or so. What the fuck is this? She just dies.
Randomly.
I'm sorry. Randomly. It was so random. And she is a major character, okay?
Oh my god.
This death, if anyone is gonna watch the show, once you see this death, it will define the entirety of the way you feel about Snowpiercer at that point. All right, it starts off very good. Season 2 is also good,
Decent,
but not
decent
as good
enough.
as season 1.
Yes.
Season 3 is like that, that moment when your train derails.
Yeah.
Funny that in the final episode, the train is actually derailing.
Exactly.
It's like they're going through the Hyderabad section of Pakistan Railways.
All right, I think we're getting off track. Let's.
Ew.
Let's move to ratings.
Yes.
Okay. You first.
What should I give the show? What should I? Just season 3?
Just season 3.
$5.5.
Okay.
Like, it's average. I didn't like it.
Definitely. I have this as a 6.5, maybe a 7 if I'm going to be very generous, but 6.5 is probably what I have in mind. Like, the show, the whole thing is
just
good.
Season 3.
Just season 3.
Just season 3 is 5.5.
Yeah.
Overall, if you want me to tell you about the overall show, then I'll bring it up to a 7 as well for the whole show.
Yeah.
Because it starts off good. It's very interesting. Season 2 is also interesting, albeit it won't impact as much as season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Season 3 just goes on a downward spiral. In the middle, you get bored. Yeah. And there's so many plots opening and closing. You'll be like, what's going on? Where is the show going? And the way they left it is, I'm hopeful that they do something. It's not dead yet for me, at least, but chances are slim because the way they left it is kind of hard to grip what's gonna happen next. So I can't predict.
Yeah,
that's why my ratings overall 7. Just season 3 is a 5.55. I'll give it a 6 even if Mubarak.
No. This is a very fair score.
Yeah.
5.5 works. 6.5 from my end. That averages it out to a 6 overall.
Yeah.
I think that's very fair for the season.
Just for this season, actually.
Just for this season. We're hoping to see the next one. I mean, we're not hoping, but we will watch the next season when that comes out. And we'll hope to see you guys over there. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell icon too if you're on YouTube, or like our page if you're on Facebook. And thank you, and goodbye.
Choo choo.
Oh,